Welcome to the third in this series of inaugural expeditions aboard the newest ship in the National Geographic Lindblad fleet, the National Geographic Orion. We're setting sail from Palau southbound towards Raja Ampat in the Bird's Head Peninsula of New Guinea and some of the most legendary underwater experiences anywhere in the world. Beautiful tropical islands, clear blue seas. We're snorkeling, scuba diving. We've got this amazing platform to explore the undersea and all of the fascinating cultures above the waves as well.
Beautiful Palau has been my home for the last 20 years, and our time here is short, but we plan on making the most of it. It'll only be a short boat ride to Jellyfish Lake, about 25 minutes. When we get there, we reach a dock. All the lakes are actually at sea level, so we hike up and over a short limestone ridge and then literally disappear into a primordial soup dominated by a single species known as the golden jelly. We've been trained essentially to avoid jellyfish at all costs. They sting, we fear them. But here in Jellyfish Lake, it's time to make our peace with these ancient cnidarians. Trapped in the lake for the last 10,000 years, they've lost their ability to sting in exchange for an association with single-celled algae, and we get to bathe in the mass of all those writhing cnidarians. We'll also have a chance to paddle among this labyrinth of limestone islands, weaving in and out of secluded bays where nobody visits. At low tide, we'll take the kayaks through tunnels into completely secluded saltwater lakes. Each of the 72 lakes is its own unique environment, much like the isolated islands of the Galapagos. Inside the towering islands, we'll find unique corals, in some cases endemic species of fish, and phenomenal marine treasures that very few visitors ever have the chance to see. This is the underwater Serengeti of planet Earth. So many fish, turtles, rays, and sharks dancing on the currents. I really couldn't believe that any place on Earth still looked like this. It really is like going back in time. I'm sure when you come back and visit us again, you're going to find that Palau is as beautiful as the first time you saw it.
I mean, Jellyfish Lake is snorkeling.
Yes.
We're rejoicing in the hot tub. Yay!
Welcome to Raja Ampat. How's that? All right, guys, watch your step. Swing your feet towards you.
So here we are in Raja Ampat, and we're snorkeling, and we could be in one of the greatest places on the planet. We're surrounded by beautiful scenery, incredibly lush, diverse corals underwater, schools and clouds of fish everywhere. This is paradise. I don't know what could be better. Here in Raja Ampat, we have some of the highest diversity of corals and fishes in the world. Everywhere you look, something new. This shallow reef is filled with giant clams, massive and colorful, living in amongst the coral. Really a great thing to see. An octopus was an excellent find, the masters of camouflage and color change. Feeding in a current line was a manta ray. What an incredible sight, gracefully swimming through the water.
Well, this is the newest addition to our onboard fleet, the Glass Bottom Zodiac. And the value of it is we now have a special boat for those people who don't snorkel and scuba dive. We can now make sure that everybody on board has a chance to enjoy the underwater world. It's really fun to take people out and show them this part of the world that they wouldn't normally be able to see.
Shallow to get right on top of it and see it as well or even better than snorkeling.
Nice opportunity to get out in the Zodiacs late in the afternoon. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful weather. I apologise for the weather today, but isn't it wonderful to be here in Raja Ampat? How did you all enjoy the snorkeling today? Wasn't that amazing? So it's an area that is very seldom visited by anybody. So you can see the little caves and inlets that get carved out just by the motion of the water. You know, some believe that the top of this limestone is wearing away about 1 to 2 millimeters every single year. This is just beautiful in here. Now you notice that this pandanus, there's lots of this pandanus around. If we actually got close and picked up the leaf of this pandanus, it's actually full of spikes all the way along it. It's the last leaf you want to use is if you've forgotten your toilet paper and you're out in the bush. What do you reckon? Should we stop or should we just keep going?
Good evening. How was your cruise?
Very nice.
Welcome to our Sunset Beach. Welcome to our Sunset Beach. We've got cocktails being served.
Serving cocktails. Get one if you can. Thank you.
Oh, it's fantastic. All the rock islands and the chitons and the crabs and we saw a turtle. It was great.
This is really awesome here to watch the sunset in the middle of this gorgeous scenery, beautiful beach, lovely snacks, great friends, perfect place.
One thing that's wonderful about snorkeling off the National Geographic Orion is we have a snorkel platform, and it's so easy to get in. Our second spot in Raja Ampat is filled with life. Crystal clear water, shallow coral, dropping into a deep infinity. A spiny lobster hangs out under a ledge up in the shallows. Rich, diverse coral life is filled with fish, little blue chromis pulsating above them. Many little colorful nudibranchs line the reef, sea slugs, little gems. A pair of surgeonfish come into a cleaning station. The doctors, the cleaner wrasse, pick the parasites. A brilliant sweetlips with its yellow stripes passes by for a close look. Soft corals of every color imaginable line the walls. A deep cave under some trees filled with little tiny fish. What an amazing place to explore. As we drop a little bit on the wall, massive, massive sea fans sticking out into the current. Once again, rich, diverse, abundant corals and this mesmerizing dance of the blue damselfish. To finish off, a real treat, a cuttlefish. Almost all the snorkelers had amazing looks of this beautiful creature.
Unbelievable. I've never seen so many fish in my life.
It gets better every day and every afternoon.
Excellent.
Incredible. Just incredible.
I thought we might go back down the channel towards the snorkeling area, but then on the left-hand side is a neat secondary channel with some routes up into the jungle, and so we'll see what we can find. But this would be the ideal spawning area for rays and sharks and fish. The babies stay in these shallow protected areas. The big predators won't come in after them so much.
There's a white-bellied sea eagle perched up here. I don't know if you've seen it.
A white-bellied sea eagle. Look at these aerial roots on this red mangrove right here. This is called a sea pencil, very commonly. And so this thing will drop off the plant and float, and eventually float up into shore. And it doesn't have to be stuck in the ground like this. It can be laying on the ground, and the roots then get into this, and the seed leaves start growing up. And eventually, and some of these things can be 70 feet tall, some species. Some
It's early morning on our third day here in Raja Ampat, and we've just set out on a dawn zodiac cruise. We just watched the sun go up, a beautiful golden sun just over the islands, and we've gone out to explore to see what we can find. It's absolutely wonderful to be here. It's a beautiful morning, so quiet, beautiful sunrise that we just watched. No one else here apart from us and our zodiacs. It's an amazing part of the world, Raja Ampat, and what's so nice about it is that it's hard to get here, which for us is a very good thing because it means we're pretty much here by ourselves at the moment.
Our third day in Raja Ampat, we're exploring this incredible reef system once again. An amazing diversity of critters led by the clown trigger. If a kid could draw the most outrageous cartoon fish possible, this could be it. Another amazing pattern fish, the square spot antheas, pulsating in the deep. A few sweet lips were at a cleaning station. Little fish cleaning the parasites off of them. Here we found Nemo as well, clownfish dancing in their anemone. Along with them, little shrimp living in the anemone as well. Life was abundant on this wall, with many different nudibranchs, including this stunning blue-striped nudibranch. Nearby, in a bed of lush, colorful invertebrates, a flatworm moved along the reef. The true highlight of this dive for me, though, were two different species of pygmy seahorses. Tiny, barely bigger than a rice grain, these were completely unknown until the late 1990s. Of course, some of the real highlights of the reef are the angelfish, every color imaginable. One of the most psychotic of all, the emperor angel, with its amazing striped pattern. This reef system, a marine protected area, so filled with life.
I'd have to say that's the best snorkel yet.
Yeah.
Better than Palau, which is saying something.
I didn't know they came in such colors. And there are huge fish along the rim there, down a ways. Really, I wish, next time I'll know how to scuba. And I can really visit with them. That'll be great.
Let's hope we can find the bird. Then we look at it, and then we'll figure out what we can do by way of photography or, anything else.
Can we leave our lantern?
We've hiked into the forests of Waigeo to search for the Wilson's bird of paradise. While we can hear them singing in the trees around us, we can get glimpses of them perched up, but none of them are coming down to the display grounds. It's an amazing opportunity just to be able to try to find this bird, and while we weren't entirely successful, it was a beautiful morning in the forest.
We're in the village of Yenwoper on the south side of Gam Island. It's spectacular. What an idyllic little village. What a pleasant place to just wander around. They had some really nice dancing. The kids from the school did a welcome dance for us. And we've had the freedom to explore their village. What a paradise for a little kid.
turn your camera up, maybe 6 inches or something, and that really puts the composition together. Well, when we come into a village like this, we want to look around for what subjects are available to us and how the light is working. When we're ashore in the middle of the day, the light is very, very strong coming from above. So we try to look away from places that have strong light and shadow and into beautiful shaded areas. We've been finding all kinds of great subjects in that kind of illumination. Kids in doorways, a man with a wheelbarrow full of coconuts, some drying food. We think it was clams drying on a line. Lots of fun stuff to shoot and beautiful colors if you find it in the right light.
We're here in western Papua on the island of Cocos, which has some fascinating history from World War II. The tunnel behind me disappears into a labyrinth, maze-like network of interconnected tunnels in association with pillboxes, machine guns, and anti-aircraft fire. The Japanese were fully prepared for an amphibious invasion, which fortunately never came. The island was bypassed, like so many of the Pacific islands in MacArthur's epic island hopping campaign.
This little village is really great fun, and the people are kind of proud of the fact that Muslims and Christians live together in harmony. In fact, we've got Catholics and Protestants. Really nice music. In fact, it's hard to stand still when that music is playing in the background. You know what? I think it's going to get hot later today.
They are just fantastic. I mean, they are so friendly and they are open to the possibility of seeing somebody that they have never seen before. You know, and allow you to take pictures, and they really enjoy being able to look at themselves through my camera. So that is really great fun and part of the reward of traveling like this.
Lots of local color and friendly people, and it was fun to dance with them.
There's a little bit of rock art just over on this island. We'll go over and have a bit of a look. For the Indigenous groups, their idea of art is completely different. You know, it was a way of portraying it on the rock, showing the spirits the appreciation for the food. Once that painting has been finished, job's done, you know. So a very different way of looking at art compared to what we do. Okay, here we've got the older sea. Now look up there, you've got plenty of stuff up there. Handprints, what looks to be a tuna. You know, and look, what you're also going to see today is lots of human bones in these crevices. By bringing the bones back to these areas, it was really showing significance to the spirits for providing them with that food. So this is a really important spot where the rock art is. And a lot of the rock art that you see along here, the handprints you can see, is connection to the land. It's quite incredible. There you are, Tom, that's for you.
Oh. I'm good.
Thank you.
There you are.
And this is not a Magnum advertisement.
What did you guys get?
National Geographic Orion travels to remote places of this planet, and we try to provide the best available out there, and that is part of my enjoyment on this ship, as I love to go into the markets in these remote places, deal with the locals and haggle with them about prices and what's the best product at the moment, to provide our guests when they come back from a long day's expedition with something special that very night. Our menu is based on local produce, this time of course mainly Australia, where all the meat is coming from, the beautiful lamb, the fish. Australia is surrounded by ocean, so there is a multitude of good fresh fish available. During the trip, you experience local food. When we have barbecues upstairs, we provide the local fish, local specialities, like right now in Indonesia, we have Indonesian food.
This is fantastic. I can't believe the choices that we have. It's great.
Well, the food has been really creative, and I love that it comes out of the tropics and it really fits the region we're in. It's just been terrific.
I've been talking to a lot of the guests about the food on this ship, and what we really like about it is it's very healthy. There's always lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, so you feel like you're really getting your 5 servings, but at the same time they have all sorts of decadent desserts at every meal. We're in Indonesia, so we're having, what is this, nasi goreng or something, or mee goreng, or I don't know, what is it? Oh look, shrimp chips. Thank you for playing with my food. Sorry.
I really enjoy being chef on an expedition ship, as there is always a challenge around the next corner. I love it, and every day is different.
Being captain on a ship like National Geographic Orion, you are almost sure that you're going to give a unique experience of the place you are visiting. Of course, the ship capacity is a very low draft and everything. You can go almost everywhere. And yeah, this is something very interesting. And as we have only 100 guests, we can interact with them. We can discuss and explain what we are doing. That's interesting. So yes, I enjoy being there a lot. I'm very proud to be on the helm as captain of the National Geographic Orion. Yes, I like it.
in the Banda Archipelago. This little archipelago is known as the Spice Islands. It's amazing to think of how the world powers of the 16th, 17th, 18th century fought over this little speck of land. And it was all because of one species of tree that grows here called nutmeg. If you open it, you'll see the seed, which is a dark brown piece in the center, and it's covered with this waxy-like material called mace. The mace is a spice, and the nutmeg, of course, is the king of spices. It was only on this little group of islands right here. They finally came to a deal. In 1667, the English agreed to give up their claims to this island, Banda Run, in exchange for New Amsterdam, or as we know it today, Manhattan Island. So it's interesting to think about it. This little fruit and the nut and the spice that it gives us is, in an indirect way, responsible for Manhattan, for New York City, being where it is today and what it is today.
When guests found out that we were going to the South Pacific, we pretty much had to offer diving. The water is warm and it's full of incredible colors and marine life. To make sure all the guests have a great experience, Ian and I are working really hard to find dive sites that are appropriate for everybody's skill levels. But we're also making sure that we do something exciting. You know, go to a place where nobody's ever been before, and generally just say we're going to go have a look. We don't really know what we're going to see. We're going to do some true exploration.
We're here in Bandonera. We're about to go diving right on this lava flow. It should be pretty exciting. All this reef was scoured away back in the mid-'80s, and now it's come back in full force. It should be great.
Hands. Great.
I guess one of the best things about diving here in Micronesia and in Melanesia is the vibrancy of the reefs, the colors, and you still have to take down a flashlight, but once you get those reefs lit up, it's a sight to behold. There are very few things on this planet that can compare to a night dive. It's a sensory overload situation. We try to make sure that we're offering an easy dive for our guests. No night dive is ever boring.
Great, thanks.
Easy. The Coral Triangle is home to the richest corals in the world. The very center, the epicenter of coral growth. More invertebrates, more corals, more fish than any other place in the world. It is a place that literally reigns biodiversity. This is the clear and beautiful corner of the Coral Triangle. Images have power. They have the power to humiliate, to educate, to convince the unconvinced. And what Jennifer and I like to do is bring back from the world's oceans are images that open people's eyes to the sea, to make them understand what an extraordinary part of the planet this is. It's an experience full of joy, challenge, and in the end, it illustrates a place on this planet that's exquisite, that's finite, delicate, that is the engine of the Earth.
Traveling across the expanse of the Indo-Pacific from Palau down to Darwin through Raja Ampat and into the Spice Islands is the most amazing journey on the face of the earth for me. For 50 years I've been doing research on marine ecosystems, and this is the heart of biodiversity in the ocean. It is amazing diversity of corals. It has an amazing diversity of fish and other wildlife. But it's also missing some things. It's missing the largest predators. It's missing the elements that hold the whole system together and drive it. At the same time, it's hopeful because there is so much that can be done and many things that local communities are doing here to improve the health of the ocean. This sort of expedition travel is absolutely essential if people are going to be aware of what's going on in the world. This is a very difficult place to get to. Having the flexibility to stop where you find opportunities to connect with nature, to talk about what you see and discuss with people who are also interested in it. It's hard to beat that kind of learning experience.
Snorkeling was absolutely out of this world. Most amazing amount of fish, colours, quantity, species. Never seen anything like it anywhere.
I think one of the things that I appreciate about this experience is that I feel that we're in a shared relationship with those of you who are out in the field, that we're on this journey together, and so it feels very new and exciting, and being able to see animal life, sea life, natural life close up.
When we arrive in a place like this where we can't even find it on the map, we don't know what will be here,
We feel like we're putting our footprints in this fresh sand for the first time. It's a wonderful experience. Sometimes you see some magical things that you could never experience in a more pre-planned itinerary where you think you know what you're going to find in advance. We never know what we're going to find, but usually there's some great surprises.